and welcome to Reality Therapy with Dr. Sarah. I am Dr. Sarah Williams, your host, where we build real connections from real conversations. In today's show, we are going to be talking about emotional freedom. Yes, what emotional freedom is and how do we achieve it? Why do we need emotional freedom? In a sense, when you think about the word freedom, you think about the capacity to live your life freely without constraints or inhibitions. That can go the same way with emotional freedom. Oftentimes, our emotions are not free in a sense because we feel captive. We feel like we've been held down or we're not able to freely express ourselves. How do we get to the point where our emotional freedom is threatened? Well, for the most part, if we experience guilt, shame, we've had past traumas, or we have an overarching feeling of continued emotional distress, then oftentimes our emotional freedom is impacted. Why isn't it easy to have emotional freedom? Well, for one reason, it's because if you've been taught in your life that when you express yourself, that for some reason you will be judged by your opinions, then you probably will be less likely to express your emotional freedom or experience emotional freedom. Lacking of emotional freedom impacts your ability to have good, open, transparent relationships because your concern will be, if I express myself and I have true freedom in this relationship and I'm vulnerable, I could get hurt. Have you been a victim in the past? Has someone betrayed your trust? Have you been a victim that grew up in a family of toxicity or dysfunctional patterns where your opinions were brushed away? Or you were in an abusive family where if you demonstrated any type of opinion or if you openly expressed your emotions, you were punished? Then as an adult, you're less likely to experience emotional freedom. That's why I thought this topic was so important, because oftentimes our work relationships, the occupation we choose, our career pattern, our work life, our family life, how we show up in our volunteerism in the community, and basically our total opinion of ourselves, oftentimes as the culprit, can be because we lack the ability to have true emotional freedom. I know today, in the times that we're in, we are very respectful of those emotional boundaries that we built. We don't want to offend anyone else. We don't want to give anyone the impression that we're not in control. But emotional intelligence and emotional freedom are two different things. Literally, you can't have emotional freedom without emotional intelligence. And we'll hear more from my good friend, Dr. Shannon. She's going to talk a lot about that. But for the most part, I want us to understand that it is a basic human right for us to have emotional freedom, that we can't experience a life without anxiety if we don't tap into our own ability to have emotional freedom. So that's the topic today. So I would like for us to delve into that. And I encourage you to watch the entire show because it's not just me today. I have some friends joining me. So just take a second. We're going to take a quick break and I will be back.
Break. No, I'm not afraid to do whatever it takes. I'll never bow. I'll never break. 'Cause I'm a warrior. I'll fight for my life like a soldier all through the night, and I won't give up. I will survive. I'm a warrior, and I'm stronger. That's why I'm alive. I will conquer time after time. I'll never falter. I will survive. I'm a warrior. Viking, I'll be fighting through the day and night. I'll be marching through the darkness.
Anything that bothers you in life out there, whether it's a post or something that a friend says or something that someone does or something that you hear that causes a reaction out of you, is a mirror for you for something that you have not had the courage to heal within yourself. That's all it is. Because when you have the courage to go inside of yourself, center yourself, and heal yourself, nothing can bother you.
Great day, great day, great day. My name is Dr. Shannon Harrington, also known as Dr. Fit Nurse. And emotional freedom to me is the freedom, y'all. The freedom and giving yourself permission to experience and express your emotions. And it's so important for us to have emotional freedom, but it's a tall order because emotional freedom requires emotional intelligence. You have to be self-aware about how you experience your emotions, how they show up, how you show up, how you're perceived and received by other people, and be aware of that. Be able to communicate those emotions that you feel, whether positive or negative, and be okay with always not being okay. And self-care is so instrumental in managing your emotions and being emotionally intelligent, because it allows you to do those things that you need. Once you become self-aware, those things that you need as far as self-care can be physical exercise. They could be going to therapy. They could be reading. It could be running. It could be spending time out in nature. It could be doing whatever lights your soul on fire and also shifts your gears from maybe a negative experience or negative emotion into a positive one. Having the remote control of your own emotions and being unapologetic about that. Not always expecting for everything to be okay. It's always okay to not always be okay. And as long as you communicate that, feel what you need to feel, do what you need to do, but also have your own remote control of your emotions so that you can shift, do those self-care activities, whatever it is that you need to do in order to shift from a negative space into a positive space so that you can constantly flow in a positive emotion. So that's what emotional freedom is to me.
Worried about your friend but don't know how to reach out?
You could say how are you or get a fake tattoo. You could ask with an app if it works for you. You could chat with them in VR. It's all good if you think you should check in. Yeah, you should. Whatever gets you talking.
Reach out to a friend about their mental health.
Whatever gets you talking.
Learn how you can help at seizetheawkward.org.
And welcome back. Now that we've had an opportunity to hear from others about the way they perceive and explain emotional freedom, I wanted to share with you some tips as well. First and foremost, to achieve emotional freedom, you have to reject those emotions of anxiety, guilt, and shame. You have to examine the history and the pattern of where those feelings really came from. Normally, it's not really from your reality or your present reality. It's usually evolved over time from negative experiences. But if you begin to reject those feelings and you begin to speak to it and give yourself a realistic approach, say, yes, I made mistakes, doesn't mean that identifies who I am. I learn from it and I move forward. That you will no longer be victimized or vulnerable to emotional attacks from others, because you will learn to have healthy boundaries. When you have healthy boundaries, that actually encourages your self-esteem, your confidence, and your ability to make decisions for yourself, which is all a good recipe for emotional freedom. In addition to that, when you practice emotional freedom and you see yourself successfully doing it, reward yourself. Do something nice for yourself. We all connect with rewards. Buy yourself something nice. Take yourself on a little excursion or a trip. Or basically just journal and write down all the positive effects that happen as a result of your connection to being emotionally free. When you start to reward yourself, it becomes a pattern and it becomes a healthier way of being. I'm excited for you because I know that over time, once you learn to connect to being emotionally free, you will show up different in your relationships. You will have a more quality of life. You will have a better quality of relationships, and you will see that your successful patterns, even in your career, will start to emerge. Thank goodness we have these opportunities to have these types of dialogues. And I'm so grateful for everyone today that was willing to come and be a part and share their experiences, their wisdom, and their expertise. Each week on Wednesdays, Reality Therapy with Dr. Sarah will share these types of information, not just on mental health, on life coaching, etc. That's why I still encourage others to be a part of this platform with me. I'm so excited to be here, and I know that we gain value from these types of conversations. I would like to make sure that everyone has an ability to contact me if they would like to have an appointment or if they would like to be a guest on the show. You can reach me on Instagram at I am Dr. Sarah Williams and on Facebook at I am Dr. Sarah Williams. I'm so excited that you decided to join us today. And don't forget to reach out to us and make a donation. We are a part of a community of broadcasters that are working together to bring information and improve our communities. Thank you again for being part of the show, and I look forward to seeing you next week.